What's going on, guys? Good morning. It's Monday, and I just arrived to my first signing. I actually have 4 signings today. I've never done 4 in a day. I've done 3, but I don't think I've ever done 4. So it's going to be a busy day. So 4 signings, and I have 2 or 3 showings with a client this evening as well. So a really busy day. I'm literally going to be gone out of the house pretty much all day. But it's all good. I'm kind of front loading my week so that I'm getting, I have a lot of signings today, tomorrow, Wednesday, and it's the end of the month. So, let me tell you, after I recorded that last video, look at that fox. Look at this fox. You see the fox running across the street? So let me tell you, after I recorded that video last week where I was talking about how, January wasn't shaping up to be that great of a month, I feel like that day and the next day, just tons of signings just start coming in from everywhere. And, it was... it was pretty crazy. And then, I kind of realized, hey, it's the end of the month. End of the month gets busy. And, with the last day to sign and everything. So I had so many come in. I think after I recorded that video, I booked up my week for all of this week pretty much. Friday is pretty open. But I just got in a lot. So it just goes to show you that, things can change a lot in a matter of a day or hours. But a lot of signings came in. I have 4 today. 3 of them are refinances, and 1 of them is a loan mod. So I have 1 at 11, which is the one I'm at now. I'll leave from here, and I'll probably knock out the loan mod right quick. And then I have 1 at 2, and then 1 at 6. And in between my 2 and my 6, I actually have showings with a client. So a busy day, and it's gonna be challenging, and I'm stretching myself. But I know that doing things like I'm doing today and stretching myself in this way and really pushing myself is, it's I think it's gonna be good. Am I looking forward to it? Well, yeah. I'm intrigued by what today is how I'm gonna feel at the end of today, and if but at the end of the day, look, 4 signings, that's decent money, and plus showings with the client. I actually have an offer to put in for another client that I really feel good about getting accepted. I have 2 other deals under contract, almost $1 million worth of real estate under contract. So, yeah. But yeah, today's gonna be pretty busy. I hope to be back on here at some point today as I'm out and about, maybe to tell you about any interesting things that I encounter. But I'll keep you guys posted. What's going on, y'all? It is now a few hours later. Actually, it's more like 5 hours later. I did my first appointment at 11. That went very smoothly. It took about an hour. 2 signers left there and headed towards my second appointment, which was scheduled for 2. I wanted to go early, but actually they weren't available any earlier. So I had to kill about an hour in between, which actually happened to be extremely useful. I was able to stop and answer some emails and do a little bit of work before I headed to the 2. I'm just leaving the 2 and heading to what was supposed to be my 3, but we pushed it back a little bit. It's just a loan mod, so it should be really quick. The signer was, very flexible. I tried to get him in earlier before my 2 o'clock with that extra time I had, but it just didn't it didn't really work out. So I'm heading to knock out this loan mod right quick, and then I have to go do showings actually, and I had to move those around, so I'm having someone on my team help me with some of those showings for my client, and then gonna head to my last one. But you know, I knew something interesting would happen today. At some point I left, so I just left this signing. It was two signers, two brothers, and they were very young, like late 20s, early 30s ish. I consider that that's pretty young for people that are buying real estate, refinancing, I think. But they were pretty young. They were a little apprehensive about the paperwork. They had one of their friends there. So let me back up. So I get there, sit down with the brothers. We're sitting in the living room. There's no table to sign on. So we're literally signing on this coffee table. And so I kind of give them my spiel in the beginning, and, you know, tell them, you know, the instructions are to sign your name as it appears on the signature line. And for both of them, they had middle initials. Well, one of them had a middle initial. The other one, his middle name was actually spelled out in the loan documents. It took us 10 minutes. It took 10 minutes for me to explain to him, or for him to finally understand, like how he should sign his name. And so I'm telling him, you know, these instructions here from the lender say sign as your name appears. So, you know, if you have a middle name, you need to sign your signature with your middle name. And so he's like, well, I don't sign that way. My signature is just a scribble. So, you know, I said, well, I'm just telling you what the instructions say. It says to sign as your name appears. However you decide to do that, that's up to you, you know, but I have to give you these instructions. He was kind of like, well, what if I don't sign a certain way? I said, well, you know, I'm not sure what the lender will do. But, you know, their instructions are for you to sign as your name appears. Some of these documents will have to be recorded. And so, you know, your signature should be distinguishable. But I tried to not to be too technical about or I said, look, I can't force you to sign a certain way. I'm just telling you and reading what the instruction says. How you sign your name is ultimately up to you, right? And so they both, and like this was like round and round for like, I felt like 10 minutes. And so based on that, I knew what kind of signing it was going to be. And so they ended up just kind of spelling out their name. And I was like, well, that's that, you know. I told you what to do, you know. If that's your signature, that's your signature. I can't, you know, like I said, I can't make you sign a certain way. And so we got through that, and mind you, this package was about 176 pages. So one of the bigger packages that I've had to do. And so, you know, it's like 15, 20 minutes in, and we're like barely scratching this package. And so we get to, and let me tell you, so they had their friend there, and you know, when I walked in, I wasn't expecting her to be there. And he said, you know, he introduced me to his friend, and he said she has some experience with loan documents, so she's just here to kind of help and, you know, make sure that everything is okay. So I'm like, okay. So we're sitting there, and while I'm getting ID sorted, I asked her, I said, oh, are you a notary? And she said no. She said something that she used to do loans in France or something like that. So they were all French. And so she said she used to do loans in France. So I'm like, okay, you know, I don't know what that has to do with, you know, the United States, but anyway.
1,000 feet, keep right.
So
all signs for US 1.
That was kind of the
US
second
9,
thing that kind of was like, oh boy, here we go. And then the third thing was that, you know, we start going through the closing disclosure, the settlement statement, and they're studying it all. I mean, readers, they are reading it. Get through those, then we go to the note and the mortgage, and we get to the note and the mortgage, and they're literally reading through the entire note. They're apprehensive. They're like, shouldn't we have received all this ahead of time? I was like, well, I'm not sure what your lender agreed to do, but you know, if you had requested it, you probably could have gotten this entire package ahead of time. But if you didn't request it, you know, they're not necessarily going to just send it to you. You know, these are pretty standard mortgage documents. So they're reading through the note, like 5 minutes to get through 3 pages of a note. The note was only 3 pages and they took 5 minutes on the note. So they finally signed it. Then we get to the mortgage. Tell them I present the mortgage. Same thing. They're like looking through everything. And it's 2 brothers, and they hand it to the friend, and she's looking at it and inspecting it. And so I'm like, you know, this is crazy. And mind you, like I have a busy day today, so I'm like getting a little frustrated at that point, trying to maintain composure like I tell y'all should do. And so after we get kind of through that stuff, and I told them, I said, look, you have a 3-day right to cancel. You know, this is the entire copy of the package here. If you don't feel comfortable signing, you don't have to sign, right? But you also have a 3-day rescission period. So you have 3 days to go figure out, you know, if this is still something you want to do. So they're like, okay. So we keep going, and we get to the loan applications, and one of the brothers has 2 copies of the application. The other brother has 1 copy of the application. They're not on each other's application. And so they're like, why is it this way? I said, I'm not sure. You guys, you know, this is the information you provided to your lender. You'll have to talk to them about why they did it this way. I can't advise on that. I don't work for the lender or the title company. And so they ended up signing that and getting through that. And meanwhile, the friend, so the brothers are sitting on each end of the sofa, and their friend is sitting in the middle, and it's a coffee table in the middle of us. So we're about as far apart as we can be to do what we need to do. And so meanwhile, she's sitting there, and she's also, you know, with her legs crossed, and she's like cracking her feet. I was like, okay. At first, it wasn't like nothing, but then she kept doing it. It almost seemed like she was trying to like annoy me in some kind of way. And then they were, you know, I told you they were French, so they were speaking a little English and speaking French and laugh. She's cracking her toes. The brother, the second brother, who I think is the younger brother, he takes forever to sign. And so I'm trying to flow, you know, at this signing, and the second brother is just slowing things down, and I'm trying to keep things in order. So it was a bit of it was a bit painful. It was a bit annoying. At one point, I had to tell him, I was like, look, it was like 3:45, and I don't even think we were a quarter way through the package. You know, in the beginning, I tried to set expectations with them that, hey, this should only take an hour. But 3:45, we were only a quarter way through the package. And they're still looking at documents, you know, trying to read everything. And I said, look, I think, you know, we're a little behind based on the time and based on how much we have to sign. We're a little behind based on how long this should actually take. And, you know, I said it kind of in that way as nicely as I could, you know, because just wanted to let them know you have other things to do. I definitely have other things to do. But if we sit here, this is going to take forever. I said, you have a copy of the package. You have a 3-day rescission period. You know, if you have any questions about anything that you signed or anything that you looked at, you have a 3-day period. Reach out to the lender. They should be more than happy to help you. So that was kind of an annoying situation. One of the more annoying situations I've been in. But that's just par for the course, you know? That's kind of how it goes sometimes, and you just have to deal with it. But, you know, keep it moving. It's not the end of the world. It was just, and it wouldn't have been so frustrating if I didn't have the kind of schedule I had today. But because my schedule is so back to back, you know, I was getting a little frustrated. I think the main part that tripped me out was, you know, the girl sitting there cracking her toes. just cracking her feet like it wasn't nothing. Look, you in your house, or if that's where you live, you there, you comfortable, you can crack your toes. But it just seemed a little, I don't know, something was weird about it. In hindsight, I'm kind of laughing thinking about that signing and what I had to deal with, but it is what it is. So heading to this loan mod signing, like I said, and then gonna show some houses and then do my last signing of the day and then just go home. I'm done. I'm so done right now. But yeah, by time I could come back on here, it'll probably be dark and I'll probably be too tired to talk or anything like that. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit me up in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.